Hey guys, welcome. Today we are going to do some insights and awarenesses on the eclipse that's coming up on the 8th of April 2024. We're going to look at what is beginning for you. What are you releasing, right? What are the little things that are affecting the big things in your life? This is a real theme at the time of eclipse, right? So the moon is affecting the sun, right? In terms of how we're witnessing it. That little thing, right? The moon, little, is affecting the big thing, the sun. So what aren't you seeing but could require illumination? We're going to do this one a little differently. I have 3 stones for you to choose from. There is an amethyst, there is an indigo gabbro, and a K2. So pile number 1 will be this this amethyst palm stone, right? It's gorgeous, just gorgeous. Yeah, right? Pile number 2 will be this indigo gabbro. This happens to belong to my BFF. So if that helps you, make a choice, right? Is that your pile today? This K2, also super lovely. I just love it. Look at that beautiful blue in there. So anyway, you can choose from these 3 stones and go right to your timestamp if you'd like. Or you can wait. We're going to draw the piles together. And if you like that part, if you find that sometimes the messages that pop up are fun, or that you would rather wait until the pile is made, you absolutely can do that as well. However it works for you, we're going to do it together. So I'll let you look at these stones again. Use your intuition here, right? This is that part where your intuition becomes part of the magic. That is this reading. So what's for you is for you, right? This is a general reading, but pick up what resonates. Leave behind what doesn't. So this amethyst is pile 1. This indigo gabbro is pile number 2. This K2 is pile number 3. So if you know, go right to your timestamp. And if not, join me as we create our piles. All right. So let's create our piles. So let's talk about this eclipse. So this eclipse happens at 19 degrees Aries. And so if you are familiar with your natal chart and you want to check and see if this eclipse is really going to get you fired up in any way, 19 Aries is the degree you're looking for. And so if you have planets around there, or in the cardinal signs as well, so that would be and let's call it from 16 or 17 degrees to about 21 or 22 degrees of any of the cardinal signs. So that's Aries, Cancer, ooh, you got 2 there, Libra, or Capricorn. So if you have planets around there, you want to really pay attention to what's happening. You want to look at the house, you'll want to look at the placement and the planet, and definitely see what's going on. So for example, if you have, let's say, Neptune at 19 degrees of Aries, right? So this eclipse is going to show you things that might have been veiled before, or that might have been part of a belief system that you no longer need now, right? Part of something that was an illusion. So there might be illumination around that for you. Let's say that you have Venus at 20 degrees of Aries. What's going to happen is that you're going to notice some things that are like in that sense of home, right, that we talk about when we talk about Venus, that might be important to you, that are lacking, or that are present, that you haven't been grateful for in your life and awareness, right? And so just depending on what your chart looks like, I'm sure that there are plenty of places that you can find more information. You know, if you're interested in doing that, I mean, you know one astrologer if you're here. You might know more. So you may want to look into that and see specifically what that means to you, because this is a pretty important time. You know, I am a fan of saying that you are the portal, right? You are the full moon. You are also the eclipse, right? You're the energy that carries always. And so the way that you deal with that is 100% up to you. But there are times that are more conducive, right? It's kind of like when you're flying from the east to the west in the United States, what happens is that you have to fight the headwinds. And if you're flying from west to east, you get the benefit of the jet stream. And so that's kind of why it's important to kind of know what's going on in astrology. You always have opportunities, but sometimes the universe is behind you in a more supportive way that creates just a little bit more blessing, if that makes sense, right? You're always blessed. You always have that capability, that capacity. It's just sometimes some things are highlighted and are easier. We're going to have to count together here because I will not be able to count properly. So that's 2. Let's go with 3 and 3 and 3. Thank you. And 4, 4, 4. I'm pulling 8 tarot cards here. Whoa, okay. Oh, look at that. How beautiful. This is our big message for you. So if you're sitting here listening, this happens. So what we can take from this is that you have some necessary changes, necessary shifts coming up. You are at a place where there is an untenable situation. You have some beliefs that are untenable and are not going to be able to move past this eclipse cycle comfortably, right? So you're going to have to make some choices, some decisions, and this is about ideas. This is about concepts, driving beliefs in your life, right? And these are always changeable. It's important to know when you see swords, there's always a capacity to shift or change those. You just have to widen your own sense of what they mean and where they're attached. And so if you're listening to this general part of the reading, as opposed to, oh, look at that, you're going to get 2 more. Okay, folks, let's just take a minute. So you have the 10 of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. So we love this, right? This just says that what you're moving away from has to be moved away from. You can shift it. What you're going to do is find a way to move towards something that is more emotionally satisfying, right? This 8 of Cups is always a card where you leave behind something that is painful, something that is not going to be satisfying to you. And this says you have to do it. You don't have a choice, right? The universe has brought you to this place and said, you cannot move forward with these ideas in place. You cannot move forward with this belief set in place. It must change. And what's going to change as a result is that your life is going to become more emotionally stable and more emotionally satisfying. The way that you do that is by creating a new belief or thought form, right? So that's a whole story for those of you who are here right now. Let's keep moving. What number are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that a 4 everywhere? All right, I think so. So, okay, well, choices. You're making choices. Make choices. How do you move away from what's not working for you? You make a choice. You make a choice in alignment with your highest and best, right? It sounds easy, doesn't it? It sounds easy when we talk about it like that. Just let the eclipse energy support you here. You can do that, right? you can do that. It's just a choice. That Two of Wands card is always about the choice that feels good to your heart, the choice that brings you joy, the choice that is going to bring you more in alignment with what feels resonant as your highest and best. And guess what? We all want that. I mean, once you're aware of what that means. And so if you're not aware of what that means, then your quest is to move forward on learning what that means, right? There are ways to learn how your capacity is engaged. And if you're not there, simple, just make those choices, right? Make those choices all the time. Okay, doke. All right, we have 1, 2, 3 piles. We have these 3 stones that are guiding us here. So we have this Amethyst palm stone and pile number 1. We have this Indigo Gabbro, pile number 2, and this K2 with pile number 3. I'm going to just let you sit with these piles and these stones for a moment. And again, use your intuition here. Really just allow the pile to speak to you. Allow the pile to choose you. And you can listen to 1, 2, or 3 of them. It doesn't really matter. Your messages will be clear and evident. You will not have to work for them or fit them in, right? Just go ahead and take a minute here, and I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile number 1, welcome. Let's talk about what's going on for you with these eclipse energies, shall we? So remember, we're talking about beginnings, releases, the little things that affect the big things, right? So let's get in here. All right, well, you start with Ascension. That's wonderful. I think it's fabulously exciting to know that the key message of this card is that Ascension is about the present. Right? That the way that your soul moves on its journey is by witnessing each and every step along the way. And that there is no all accompanying whoosh of ascension, right? There's only awareness in the moment, right? So when we talk about beginnings, as it relates to this eclipse, perhaps the beginning for you is coming into your presence, your own physical presence, right? You also have number 22, surfing rainbows on the moon. The beauty of this card is that it really talks about imagination and playfulness and open possibility, right? So the way that it rolls back into this card is that it's talking about being here now, right? If you want to be playful, you have to be in the present. You can't be playful while you're pasting or futuring. You have to be presenting in order to be playful, and even believe that there are rainbows on the moon, right? You also have open up. Now, this is a card about releasing. This is a card about really witnessing the way that you have struggled to get present, the way that you're carrying the past, the way that you've allowed the past to shrink you and cloister you and close you off. This is about being jaded, and guess what? You can't move forward if you're carrying this baggage, right? So this is about time right now. So let's keep moving. Oh, okay. So you also have the Wild Woman. And the Wild Woman, again, is echoing this sense of playfulness. Yeah, this sense of playfulness. So let's also please witness that you... Okay, this eclipse is on 4-8. There's a whole lot of 4 and 8 energy in there, right? And this is in the 2024 year, which is an 8. You have 22, right? A 4. You have a 4. You have an 8 here. So just paying attention to the way that those numbers invite you towards stability and flow. Just bear with me. We'll get there. So the key here is, how are you experiencing, right? Are you experiencing your life, or are you anchoring yourself to something else? Even an idea of what it means to be wild, right, is in and of itself creating something that you have to chase and perhaps never catch. The key to this ascension is not to reach for it, is not to follow it or long for it, right? Like any transcendent experience, the transcendent is found in the moment, right? Not in the past, not in the future, but only in the moment. Okay, let's look at your tarot and see where it wants to take us. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, okay. The Nine of Wands, the Three of Wands, okay. The Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. Alrighty. Well, okay, so again, we're talking about what are we holding on to and what has it gotten us, right? Where are we in belief that we have to be witness to our past in order to be in our present? And the answer is, you don't. You don't have to be witness to your past to be in the present. If you accept that lessons are light, you already know that the lessons that you've learned are integrated, right? They're not something outside of you. And the way that you're choosing to either be involved in those lessons as baggage, something external that you have to carry around, or whether you are choosing to witness those lessons as learning, as the creation of wisdom, right, through the synthesis with knowledge and experience, right? And we create that wisdom that becomes part of us. The key here is, on the highest level, ascension is presence. On the highest level, play is presence. On the highest level, baggage, right, is folded up neatly, tucked in your pocket in the teeny tiniest way. Baggage is presence. Opening up is being present to that baggage and just asking it what it needs. And being wild, this freedom, this independence that comes with this energy of wildness, is just showing up, right? And responding to what is, being fearless, being uncalculated, right? Not feeling a need to have an elaborate construct around who and what you are. So if this is your eclipse message, let's pay attention. What are you hauling around, and what has it brought you? What have you been defending, right? And how do these things factor into your long-term plans, right? This is a pretty bleak long-term plan, right? This is a lot to carry. Scarcity consciousness and the belief in scarcity consciousness and this constant need to be in survival mode is a lot to carry. Now, let's be fair and say, if you're doing your trauma work, if you're doing your shadow work, your inner child work, your parts work, then you're working on these things. If you're not, if you haven't gotten to this place yet, perhaps what this eclipse is asking you is, what is it actually that you're choosing to create from in your long-term planning, right? And just pay attention. What have you done to create a beginning? Or have you done anything to create a beginning? What have you done to release your baggage? Or have you done anything to release your baggage? Well, on the other side of that, right, is whatever's going on down here is lovely. The Two of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, right? So how you witness this divine support, this full cup of your heart and soul that is not only able to receive but to give, right? That's really this seen and be seen, this known and be known, is what the Two of Cups is all about. And the key here is in the present moment is where this takes place, right? The divine aspect of a partnership happens in the moment, right? It is both. It doesn't need a construct. It doesn't need a trajectory. It just is, right? It doesn't matter where we go as long as we're together, right? This is the concept of that blessed union. It's faith. It's not carrying around your baggage, and it's having the freedom to let go of that baggage, right? To not have to carry these things around and really witness, this is where we are and this is where we're going. And what happens? Safety, security, emotional contentment, satisfaction, bliss. In fact, this legacy card, look what we've created, right, is in stark contrast to the 4 and 5. The 10 is this beautiful card of foundations, is this beautiful card of, I know that no matter where I am perfectly resourced. I am fully cared for. I am always supported. I get to surf rainbows on the moon because I did the work to create myself as a whole person. And so perhaps your eclipse message here is whatever work it is that is creating any kind of discordancy or out of resonance feeling in your trajectory. It's now time to find this sense of presence and play and joy and be available to it in a new way, right? To release not the wounds that you've suffered, but your attachment to them. To release not the things that have happened to you, but your jaded approach to life in the now that's resulted from them. So whatever the work is that you need to be doing, what aren't you seeing, but what's required for your illumination is that it's your presence that's required in all of this. And so your presence is the only thing that can shift your awareness, right? You are both the moon and the sun, and you are the perfect space between them that gives our geocentric Earth perspective the fact that we can witness an eclipse at all, right? This is no accident of cosmos. This is this is a miracle of the cosmos, right? The fact that the moon can completely blot out the sun from Earth's perspective, the fact that our pain can so perfectly blot out our experience of the divine from our personal perspective is a brilliant thing, but it also allows us to witness that we get only a little bit of that. And then the effect of it is that we get to do the work to see what lies behind it, what lies beneath it, what lies around it. And what isn't it that we're seeing? Well, that we're all those things and both and everything in between. And any idea that we have that's otherwise is simply an illusion, is simply a holding on, is simply our choice, our chosen perspective. And so whatever it is that you've been experiencing, how does that relate to your long term? Well, ask yourself, what do you want to experience and how do you shift this into this? That's a question that only you can answer, but it looks to me as though what you're being advised to do is to do that work on your baggage so that you can shift into a sense of joy and play and love and contentment and really witness. I mean, these are two long-term cards here, 3 of Wands and 10 of Pentacles. This is your long-term planning, both of them, right? And so this can become something beautiful, or it can just reload the same trajectory over and over again if that's what you want. But if you want to load something new, you have to change. You have to change you. And the way to change you is to let go of this baggage and really, really focus on how can I move forward more vibrantly, right? More childlike. How can I approach the sense of the transcendent within my own soul, within my own heart? Because that's where it lives, right? It's not external to you. You're not ascending to something. You're just opening up to what is already there, right? Yeah, okay. I think pile number 1, that is your eclipse message. Those are your little things that are affecting your big things. And guess what? Your big things are perfect and beautiful. So manage your little things and then get to the big part, which is beautiful and wonderful, right? So take care. Be blessed. Do all the wonderful things to care for yourself brilliantly. Impeccable self-care at the time of this eclipse and every day if you can manage it, right? Take care. Thanks for listening. Yeah. I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks. All right, pile number 2. Those of you who chose this amazing Indigo Gabbro. I just wish you could feel it. It's so good. So good. And you know, it's a BFF stone, so it's got magic, big magic. All right, let's see what's going on for you guys for the eclipse, right? We're talking about beginnings, releases, little things that affect the big things, right? Oh, that's right. You got 2 here. Ah, interesting. Okay, so you have perception and mythic reality. Perception was first, so we're going to let that go on the top. So let's talk about these cards. Both of these cards come with a very strong sense of not using your own judgment or discernment. These are both cards that warn you against allowing anyone or anything else to create your belief system, to create your emotional state, to create your thoughts and reality, right? The key here is that you have the power to create your reality through perception. And so if you're not in control of your perception, who is, right? Interesting. Interesting start. Pile number 2. Underneath the lizard skin. Okay, so this is a cool card here because this talks about as you're growing and shifting and changing, what is required is a shedding, right? And we all know that shedding is a challenge. And the other thing about shedding, not only is the process challenging, but what happens after you shed is you have this new baby skin, right? Figuratively speaking, literally in the case of the lizard, but figuratively for you, when we're talking about awareness and growth and enlightenment stages. And so the key here is when you have that brand new skin, you have to be cautious, extra cautious, not to fall back into someone else's reality, right? That's not yours. Let's keep moving. Okay. Dedicated effort. This is akin to the Eight of Pentacles. So this is about mastery. This is about dedication. This is about the way that you shift and change your reality through your practice, through your skill, through your mastery. And so if you've gotten to a certain point and you continue to keep practicing no matter what happens here, you are in fact the creator of your reality, right? Yeah, dedication is the thing. Like motivation is a beautiful thing. It's what starts fires, but dedication is what keeps them going. And you have to be willing to move through this resistance up here. Lastly, but not leastly, you have the corn. This is about work. This is about work, growing, planting, sowing, reaping, right? So this is a beautiful correlation here. This is about really understanding that no matter what, first of all, you have the promise of abundance. It's there. It's delivered, right? You just have to have the faith as you're learning and growing to understand that the process is the process, and you can't bypass it. You can't circumvent it. You can't go around it. You can't shift it or change it. You can only witness it as it comes by dedicating yourself to the journey. Now, the other thing with the corn is that this is really about manifesting in the 3D, right? So if you're talking about reality creation, which you are here, It's really about minding the store, so to speak, and choosing how you're going to do this even when it gets challenging, outside of what has been prescribed to you, right? Yeah, okay, let's see what the tarot has to say to you. All right, so you have Judgment, the Four of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the High Priestess. Okie dokie. You have the Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, of course you do, the King of Wands, and the King of Cups. How exciting. Okay, so, all right. So something has been shifting for you. You had some kind of awareness, right? Judgment is an awareness. So you had some kind of awakening, some kind of opening, right? And you've been trying to navigate through it and shift your own perspective by following your intuition. That's beautiful and brilliant, right? So that's what's been going on. You're in the shedding phase, which is awesome. So how do you proceed from there? And what does this eclipse have to do with it? Well, I love the way that these are actually really two separate messages. So this is what's been happening, and this is what's coming, right? So your dedication, wow, pile number 2, that's awesome. So your dedication to what you have learned, right? To what you've been shown and to the conclusions to which you've come at this point. Your conclusions, not the conclusions of someone else, but your conclusions based on your shift in perspective, right? This is Swords. This is about your ideas, which are always subject to shift and change, right? Everything changes. It's about how you get where you get after that, right? To this deeply intuitive state. And so then how do you put that into action? Well, you put it into action every day by creating a practice that incorporates all of these things, right? All of these awarenesses, all of the things that you have learned, the shifts in perspective, the depth of your intuition, right? All of these beautiful things really are creating your reality, because your dedication is what's creating yourself, what's creating your actual tangible experience of reality through your expression. The result, you have 2 kings here, Wands and Cups, right? Those are great kings, right? This is about passion and how you feel about your life. This is about the way that you devote yourself to this process creates the final outcome. And we're not talking about like final outcomes here. We're talking about this creates the next platform upon which you can build, dually here with 2 kings. So this is really about being in control of your heart and the way that you feel about it. This is about your direction and the way that you're invested in it. So what are the little things that affect the big things? For you right now, it's the journey that you've been on, and the way that you have allowed yourself to tap into your intuition in a new way, right? Or new ways, right? And what it allows you to create in terms of a solid foundation, the way that you are rooted and grounded, the things to which you devote yourself every single day create this impassioned sense of emotional connection, of service, of compassion, of deep creativity, and the sense of contentment and fulfillment that goes along with the creation of that experience, right? So the way that you express yourself is not only a good thing for you because it feeds itself, it roots itself, but it also feels great. And so, to ask the question, what aren't you seeing that requires illumination? Well, here's the deal. I think you've already got the beginnings and releases part down. I think the key for you is dedication, right? It's dedication. It's doing the work, making the shifts permanent, making the shifts part of your muscle memory, right? And so creating from that space I mean, you get to queen up and king up doubly here. So whatever it is that you've been doing, you already have part of that reward in your pocket. So just putting your own knowledge and experience into action as wisdom creates this powerful platform for you that's going to be everything you believe it to be and then some, right? Oh, that's beautiful, pile number 2. I love it. I love it. And congratulations on the work that you have done. And also brilliant excitement for the work that is to come, right? Take care. Enjoy this eclipse. Thanks for listening. And boy, I hope that's that for you. Hit like, hit subscribe so that you can come back and let me know what it is you're doing, because I want to know. Take care. Hey, pile number 3. Let's look at your eclipse messages, shall we? This beautiful K2. I love K2. It's about divine messaging. It's a great dream stone. So I love it. I love it, especially for this kind of work when we're talking about the space between, right? Ooh, right out of the gate, you get transformation. Okay, so in this deck, transformation is talking about the challenges of the transformative process, right? How sometimes it can feel bumpy and out of focus and hard, right? And, you know, the concept of no grit, no pearl leads us to the conclusion that when things are hard, we have to really look for ways to be in transformation, to be available to transformation. Because we have to be an active part of that process, right? It doesn't just happen. Oh, shoot. That's right. You guys got 2 here. Okay. Interesting. All right, we're going to do it this way because the 7 was first. So you have 2. I'm going to show them to you. So you have, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh, right? And painting joy across the sky, right? It's a little poem that you guys did. I like it. So the deal here is when we're talking about this number 7 card, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh, this is talking about sorrow. It's talking about sadness. It's talking about actually what happens before transformation, when you're still unaware, when you're still sleeping, right? Before you are awake, like this Sasquatch. Even the aliens are still sleeping here, right? They're not awake. They're just immersed in whatever you happen to believe the between state is, in terms of I'm not awake and then I am, right? And so this painting joy across the sky, right, this is that state of being awake, but this is also a card about choice, right? It's a card about choice, and it's how you choose to take the bad things, and I'm air quoting that the bad things of life, the challenges, the things that are hard, the things that don't go your way, the things that don't bring you what you expected, how you choose to take those and transform them into the awareness, into the certainty that no matter what it is, it's always for you, right? So we're painting joy across the sky because we understand that no matter what comes for me, right? This is what awakening is. This is what transformation is. And by the way, a cardinal just landed in the bushes outside of my window. So if that is your messenger, say hello and thank you. Oh, by the way, that's part of number 23, right? That gratitude, that sense of gratitude, shifting from gratitude, from the hard and challenging things to, oh, thank you, I see what I'm learning here, right? We don't like that. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt to take that perspective, to take that wider perspective of, oh, shoot, I totally do believe that this is for me, or I understand that this is a lesson. Whether I love it or not is my choice, but it's working on me, for me, right? Let's keep it going. All right, so you have find balance. And the key here is really about being part of your process, about witnessing that everything is, again, for you, and coming to balance in the flow of what is present. Not judging it, just moving through it, with it, right? Being part of the dance. And once you're awake, what choice do you have but to do that? All right, you also have the crow. And the crow is about messages, right? The crow is about the way that you choose to take what the universe is giving you and take it as a sign. Take it as a that moment of, ooh, shiny. What can I do with this? How can I put this to work in my periphery, right? The crow is a divine messenger. So if you can shift your perspective to witness yourself as utilizing all of those messages, as waking up and really seeing what is both here in the short term, there in the long term, how you're going to witness what's present for you right now as part of a vehicle for your transformation. This is beautiful. Let's see how your tarot is going to support this. Shall we? Yeah. All right. You have the Queen of Swords, right? The Two of Swords. The Seven of Swords. Oh boy. And the Tower. Well, 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 pile number 3. Okay, that's a lot right there. You have the Wheel, the Fool, the Nine of Cups, oh, and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Well, I like it. I like it a lot. So let's talk about our fixed ideas, right? Our confusion, our refusal to accept the things that are there in front of us. Swords are always about ideas. Ideas are shiftable and changeable at your choice, right? So if you grab a set of ideas and you hold on to them and act from them, here's the thing. You either do that because you have no awareness that you have been programmed, right? And that routine and tradition is a sense of programming, right? It's giving power to your past to create your present and therefore your future. So if that's the case, then awakening is your issue. And if it's the case that you do know what you're doing, but you perhaps are not open to anything new coming in fact, you just want to close your eyes to it. You want to say, oh, that's not for me. That's not going to work for me, right? I don't want that. That's not the way that I do it. That's just not how it is in my life, right? Well, guess what? Sometimes those stubbornnesses, those refusals to look at new ideas create situations where we're not awake. We're not aware because we're refusing to look at what is, right? Being unavailable to new information is not living your life. Being unavailable to new information is not living your life. End of story. So you can deceive yourself all day long that all of these things create structure and whatever, but all they create is a lead box and or a coffin, in fact, because not being open to new information is not living your life, right? So if that's the case, what's coming in for you at this eclipse is going to perhaps be a little shocking, because when we are unable or unwilling to shift and change our lives from within, and by changing our lives we simply mean changing our belief structure, changing the way that we approach life, changing how we believe life works, right? If we're not available to do that from within, it will happen without, right? Something will wake you up, and what will happen is that you will be shoved into transformation instead of stepping in willingly and saying, oh, I see what's happening here. Let me explore it a little bit more, right? These are two different things. And especially when we're talking about how you flow into it and witness your own messengers, what happens next is that life is going to move forward. So, pile number 3. What's coming in for you? The little things that you're not seeing are those awarenesses, right? The certainties of the way that you read your life, the way that you grab a hold of your experience as something that is creating something brilliant for you. You can choose. You can choose to be stuck in your sadness. You can choose to tell yourself stories that you know aren't true over and over and over again. You can choose to grab someone else's story and make that your reality. But what's going to happen eventually is that it's going to explode, and it's going to blow your mind when it does, right? The tower is all about getting your top blown off. It blows your mind. Right. So if you're not going to do it yourself, what's going to happen is this eclipse energy is going to put you in a situation where you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice but to witness reality in a new and different way for you, right? This is a positive. It shouldn't sound ominous. It should sound like, oh, I understand. Okay, right? So that moment of understanding is what I'm talking about. That pivotal moment where you have to make the choice. Do I keep looking away, or do I lean in? You're not going to have a choice but to lean in at this point in time, because the evidence is going to be so overwhelming. Does that make sense? It's not like somebody's going to grab you by the lapels and pull you into a room you don't want to be in. It's that the universe is going to show you so many different ways that, yes, in fact, this is how life works. This is what reality is, that you will have no other option but to say, oh, shoot, I've been looking away the whole time. Let me get right with this. Okay? So it's not a scary thing. It's not a forcing or a shoving into. It's that you are now ready to let it blow your mind, right? What happens next? You witness that life, in fact, does shift and change all the time, right? The Wheel of Fortune, here's the thing. I love this card, by the way. So the Wheel of Fortune gives you perspective on the universe, right? On every aspect of your life, whatever that means to you. And you can choose to be out here on the edge, at which case you get run over sometimes and you always feel a little bit off, right? Or you can be a spoke in this wheel, where what happens is that all the time you're in motion, and sometimes you're upside down and sometimes you're off kilter, but you're never quite there. Or you can choose to be the hub of the wheel and allow the motion to happen around you but not affect you, right? That's the key here. All of this stuff is holding on to things that are out on the edges of this wheel. It's accepting that, oh, this is how life is, this is how life is. Well, in fact, no. Awakening is just the awareness that you're the hub. You're the center. You are the center of your created reality, and you get to choose where you are on this at all times, right? You have to find your balance. You have to find your place in your perspective. And sometimes, guess what? You shoot out to the edge because things happen. But coming to the realization that you are the hub of the wheel is everything. That is how you learn that the little things affect the big things. That allows you to move forward in faith all the time, because you know exactly where you are, right? You know exactly what's happening around you. You know that every single time you need a little bit of validation, yeah, thank you, Birdie, or reminding that you're going to get that messenger. And what is the result? 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, right? Wish fulfillment, in control of your destiny, in control of your emotional state, fully resourced of your own power, fully emotionally regulated of your own choosing, right? These are amazing cards to sit here. This is the I self fully built, right? By walking on faith, by choosing to be that hub, by grabbing every opportunity to take those messages and make them work for you, instead of trying to write somebody else's story in to your side notes and create something from it. That's what sleeping is, right? Sleeping is just looking at somebody else's version of reality as your own. Once you get to the fact that my transformation happens in every moment, my transformation happens in every choice, as I witness every single message and make every step forward, and yet my transformation is always me, fully complete, perfect and imperfect, both in this moment, right? There is nothing more you need. There's nothing more you want. So what are you seeing? Or what are you not seeing that requires illumination? I think what you're not seeing yet, and I'm just going to say it yet, is your power. And I think that this eclipse is going to illuminate the process of how you really claim and stand in your power for you. So make sure that you are just witnessing where you need to say yes, witnessing what the universe wants to show you and has been showing you all along, right? The messages are there. It's you who's been looking away, and that's okay. But I think your key message here is that you're ready. It's time. It's time to say yes. It's time to lean in. It's time to take that leap of faith that allows you to move into this sense of absolute personal fulfillment of, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. It only matters what's going on within me, because what's within me creates everything that's around me, right? So it's just a narrowing of focus for your phase of work, for this coming phase of work for you. So I just encourage you to be in it. Just be aware. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. You can do this. And when the awareness comes, when the, oh my gosh, that's what it is, I see it now, presents itself, say yes, lean in, and understand that it's been there all along. It's been there all along. It's just unfolded to the point where now it's a gift for you, right? Yeah. Okay, pile number 3. Wow. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Hit like, hit subscribe. Come back and let me know how it goes. And big blessings at this eclipse and every single day, right? Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Take care. I'll see you next time.